All right. Good morning, you scalawags. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to the Morning Bubba. Hope everybody's rolling this morning. Getting ready for another Monday morning. Good morning, fellas. Got my boots on. How about you? Got a cup of hot coffee? And it's time to kick off another week. And I mean kick it off the right way, too. If you're live, drop your trade, name your company, and where you're headed in the comments. Let's get those names rolling in. Come on, everybody. Let me know where you're going. Tell me what you're doing. If you're catching this on a replay, you're still part of the crew. Remember, we're all in this together, building a culture of safety one Monday morning at a time. Now, it don't mean just Monday morning be safe. That means be safe all the time. I hope everybody is recovering from the weekend. You know, the hardest part of Monday morning isn't the early hour. It's shaking off the weekend and finding that focus. But you know what? That's what separates the pros from the rest. We show up and we're ready. All right. Anyway, let me get these headphones off. And hear these old crazy echoes. I don't know if y'all know anything about doing this old YouTube thing, but when you're recording, it's a thing called latency between the video and the audio. The audio processes faster than the video because of the size of the files or whatever. But when you're talking into the microphone and it's going through the computer and you're trying to monitor yourself, there's a delay. And it's like an echo. And I don't know how to get it out all the way, and it befuddles me, it confuses me. So anyway, that's why I take them headphones off. I just want to make sure I'm getting a live stream. If you're tuned in already, go ahead and let me know how the stream looks, how it sounds. Am I getting out? I don't know if I got a little background playing. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the phrase of the week or the term of the week. This week's word is leadership. Now, I'm not talking about job titles. I'm talking about how you carry yourself, how you influence others, and how you set the tone. Whether it's your very first day on the job or your 30th year in the trade. Now, leadership starts with action. Be the one who checks his equipment first, ties off the first, wears their PPE right, checks to make sure their ladders and things are set up right, and reminds the next guy to do it. Now, leadership, it's not about having the loudest voice. It's about being the right example. When you practice leadership, you elevate yourself, you elevate your crew, and you elevate your company. You know, a good leader makes the people around them better. And in this line of work, that means safer, sharper, and more productive. And I find that to be true. I've been in the field for many years, and those conscientious and hardworking guys out there who are leaders just by being a leader. They're not necessarily a manager. They don't have titles, but they're respected and recognized among their team members and they spread it. And I've seen it when you have a whole team of guys out there that act like that. Man, there's no better sense of pride whether you're the company owner or you're a GC that has that crew on your site. So keep that stuff in mind when you're out there. Uh, all right, here we are, Monday morning. I don't see anybody on there yet. Everybody's busy. I hope you're listening. Whether you're picking up your guys or headed to the shop to pick up tools and material, going to the Home Depot, or stopping in the QT to get a cup of coffee and fuel up your work truck. Tuned in, getting your mind ready to work, and that's what I'm here to do. Help you get yourself ready to face the day and the week. Building America, it's important that you be there. We're counting on you to help build this country. This is the greatest country on the face of the planet. We have our issues, we have our complaints, we have our little conflicts, and at the end of the day, if you claim yourself to be an American, then you're on the right track and you've got the best place in the world to be. So take pride in yourself, take pride in your work, take pride in being a patriot, take pride in your family, take pride in your community and in all things, and do the good work to ensure their safety and standards. I said that little piece already this morning. Got to get hydrated, so I'm just sitting here with y'all, just chit-chatting till we move along, I should say. We're already moving along. I was fixing to say till we get ready to go. Oh man, that was good water. All righty. That is the MCB Ventures way. Get it rolling. Man, it looks like I just woke up. I've been up over an hour. I got up 4 and made some coffee. Got the studio set up. I hope y'all let me know how the sound's doing. I've been working on the audio, trying to make this more presentable and all that stuff, making some investments to improve the quality of the stream, to make it more pleasing. Even though we don't have a lot of viewers right now. I want this to be the morning talk show, where we get together and we got common things. I don't have the fancy music and the commercial. I don't have any commercials. That's a good part. How many? I did a count one time and listened to the radio, and for every hour of airtime, there is 20 minutes of commercials. Wow. A third of the time is spent in commercial breaks, listening to somebody sell you toothpaste or whatever they're selling. I don't know, but here now YouTube may slip in a commercial. I don't know. I can't help that. I'm just here trying to do the thing to get everybody in a safety set of mind, in a leadership set of mind, so they get on the job and ensure their place in the workforce. If you're a low motivated individual, then the contractors don't want you around, and it decreases your opportunities to make a living for your family. So if I can help you to promote yourself by being in a positive state of mind and doing work in a safe, conscientious way, or as I normally say, safe, timely, and efficient, then that's what I want to do. Boy, I'm trying to watch the old caloric intake. I like to have something in my coffee, but doggone, that adds up the calories. And I told the doctor I'd try and take off some weight. And when I get off of this thing, I go for a hike. I got a hike planned this morning, uphill both ways. But I'm going to do it because I know it's important. Try and hang around a little longer so I can take care of that old woman I got upstairs still enjoying her beauty rest. And maybe buy the kids something for grandkids, something for Christmas. The kids is grown. They need them. Anyway, I like getting up this early in the morning talking to you guys. So send me a message. Let me know how it's going for you this morning. Where you headed? What kind of trade you're in? Give your company a shout out too. Give the company that you're going to go to work for today, your GC, give them a shout out. Tell me what a good job they are, what a good company they are to work for. Shout them out. You know, to finish up this little segment, leadership isn't a position, it's a practice. Every day, every choice, and every example counts. Somebody's always watching, somebody's always seeing. You may not know it, and it's how you behave when no one is watching that makes the biggest difference. Okay? So as we move through the day, we get to the job site, then keep that kind of thing in mind. Safety snapshot this morning, eye protection, supervisors, guys, get out there and get to talking this morning. It's Monday morning. You ought to be having a safety meeting first thing. And this week's safety spotlight is eye protection. And it ties into the channel that ties into the our channel message last week on Middleclassbubba. You see this YouTube channel right there. I put it on there because I've got probably, I don't know, man, I got hundreds of videos there, safety videos, and they're 5 minutes toolbox safety topic videos. So if you want something to look at or need some training or have some concerns about something, you need to get on the right track, whether it's from confined space to respiratory protection to eye protection or any of that kind of stuff, fall protection, make sure you check out the channel, and it's got all kinds of stuff for you there. But if you can't see, you can't work. You know, not all eye protection is the same. So we've got to learn to be able to match the protection to the hazard. Now, as a safety guy, I've got a set of safety glasses. These are probably safety glasses. They're polycarbonate. I know that for a fact. But they're missing one key component. They're missing those little letters that say Z87. Hell, I couldn't tell you if that was on here now or not. I can't see without them. That's a strange thing. But these are probably polycarbonate, and they could be classified, if they had side shields on them, as safety glasses. And I have a pair in the truck that they're combination kind of things, but they are Z87 glasses, and they have detachable side shields, so that I can wear them in any kind of setting. But and I may not have the side shields on when I'm walking a site, okay, because I'm not performing work. I'm not doing any work that exposes me to any kind of hazard. But if I'm doing work, and sometimes if I'm in a particular situation, I'll have those side shields on. But for general work, to protect your eyes from dust and light debris and just small impacts, then that's just a typical safety glass like the kind I wear. And then from time to time, you have to step up a notch, and we have to be wearing a goggle, and that's if you're handling some kind of chemical and there's a potential for splashing, then goggles would be the thing to do. But the important thing is to match the protection to the exposure. And then if you're grinding or that kind of work, grinding, cutting, working around flying metal or sparks or anything like that, then face shields is required. Now, face shields are not a replacement for safety glasses. You've got to remember to have your safety glasses on under those shields. Uh, Now, when it comes to torch cutting and things like that, uh, it's a number 5 shade that's required for torching operations, and that's not the shield and the safety glasses. That's either you have a number 5 shield or number 5 shade in your glasses, not both. Keep that kind of thing in mind. It's important. But make sure that you understand what you're the kind of work that you're doing. Now, sawzalls, do you really need anything other than safety glasses? I would say most of the time, no. But if you're grinding, if you're creating serious flying debris, then yeah, you need to have a face shield on. And then there's specialty items. Uh, if you're running a chainsaw, then just a mesh shield will work fine to keep the debris off, as long as you're wearing your safety glasses underneath. But if you're handling hot sparks and things like that, it needs to be some type of polycarbonate. And remember, keep those things clean. Keep your lenses clean. Make sure you got a good tight fit, that they're not all the way. I got my safety glasses. I lean my head over, some of the guns will fall right off, and I keep trying to bend them back to fit my fat head, and it's always a pain in the butt. But you got to keep those things tight fitting so they stay in place. And excuse me, early mornings and my sinuses give me trouble. And fog, scratch, or dirty glasses, they can be just as dangerous as no glasses at all. If you've got, scratch glasses or dirty glasses, they impair your vision, cause eye strain, cause all kinds of things. And scratched glasses are more likely to break upon impact because they're already damaged. So take care of your eyewear, take care of your eye protection. And over time, I realized that it gets dirty and scratched, and your employer is required to keep you supplied with the proper PPE that to protect you from certain things on the job site. So take care of them. Don't lose them. Now, the employer is not required to give you endless supply. If you just lose them or misplace them, they can charge you after they've given you that first pair. It's their right. They have a right to maintain their costs. They have they have responsibilities to protect you, but they're not out there to give you a new set of safety glasses 2 or 3 times a day because you left them laying under the oak tree where you had lunch, or you left them in the truck and you don't want to go back out there and get them. But make sure that you're doing that. Protecting your vision isn't just about today, it's protecting every tomorrow. Job site challenge this week. And hey, listen, if y'all got a job site challenge and you see a thing on your job site that you'd like to have me talk about amongst all the crews, all the guys that participate in this Monday morning deal, send me a comment and I'll plug it in the next week. Or if I catch it now, we'll talk about it right now. I have some scripts here. I'm trying to follow a script to keep this thing moving along. But if there's participation, we can deviate. So if there's something out there that you've got real concerns about, go ahead and throw it in the comments and we'll get to talking about it. But this job site challenge for the job site is be the one to step up. Be the one who steps up, the one who sets the pace, Be the one who checks his gear before anyone else does, goes through and does inspections. Be the one who speaks up when something doesn't look right, and don't ever be afraid to do it either. Speak up. Don't be afraid. Don't be a chicken. That's leadership in action. That's somebody who's taken the role and takes their job seriously, takes their safety seriously. Y'all hear my stomach? Oh boy. Takes their safety seriously, take their co-worker safety seriously. And you don't need a title to do that. And them guys say, that ain't my job. Boy, that makes me mad and I'll get out. You don't need permission to protect somebody. Most companies out there today have right to stop work authority. Everybody has stop work authority. If there's a safety issue, you can stop work. Oh, hey, stop. And supervisor, if somebody calls that out, stop work, you better be over there and you better be figuring out what's going on and what the safety issue is. And it could be anything. If you like harmony in your crew, that's supervisors, you got to work on that. That's got to be harmony. Now, you as a leadership in action, you can work on keep maintaining harmony too. And that's an important thing, is maintaining harmony in your work crew. Been plenty of times I've called out a guy, in a safety meeting. He's at the back of the pickup truck and the rest of the crew is standing around trying to participate. And he's in the back there on his cell phone, fighting with his wife or whatever. And I'll call him out. And that's what you should do too, because he's missing important information. You don't need a title and you don't need permission to be a leader. You just need the guts to do the right thing. And having the guts to do the right thing, that's what it's all about. So be a leader out there. Superintendents encourage leadership. Listen, if you're a superintendent and you're in a company that's growing, and with good leadership, a company will grow, because your reputation will precede you. People, when you get on a job and you perform, not only will that company will want you back, they will talk to other companies and say, man, we like that company ABC. They did a terrific job. And if you ever get a chance, you need, or if they got another company, another project manager's talking with another project manager from a different company, and they're talking about their challenges, and you're a specialty company, and he goes, hey, you ought to call these guys. They did a bang up job for me. And that's the way it happens. So it starts with leadership in action, providing safe, timely, and efficient work. Being productive, having good leadership, all that stuff makes an impression, which will carry you, make your company grow. Back to the point of you being a superintendent and encouraging leadership. As a company grows, you have general superintendents, and general superintendents, they need to have people that they can rely on. And how you train them and how you encourage them and bring them up through your ranks. If you, after a period of time, and you become a general superintendent with 3 or 4 projects that you got going on, and you train those guys in the way of your leadership style, and you have a better grasp on what's going on in the field on your projects, because you train those guys, know them. They're out there doing your bidding. So make sure that you do a good job of encouraging leadership to grow your ranks and grow your own leadership, your own cadre, so to say. That's old military term. Anyway, here we are. It is 5:25 in the morning. Hope everybody's doing good. Hey, you know why the safety inspector brings a ladder to the bar? because he heard the drinks were on the house. Sounds like a safety inspector, don't it? Brings the ladder to the bar. Hey, if you got a better joke than what I can come up with, or Pluriforia can come up with, y'all put them in the comments and share them with us. Because, man, you know, the old joke well does run dry from time to time, and I'd hate for us to start repeating ourselves. What do you call a carpenter who can't cut straight? Any of you carpenters out there want to tell me about it? What do you call a carpenter who can't cut straight? He is a saw loser. I can give that one. My grandboy, he can tell that to the barber. I don't know if I told you, I got a little old grandson. I guess he's 4. He'll be 5 first of the year, February or so, in pre-K. And when his daddy takes him to get a haircut, he they say, Siri, give me a joke. And the Siri give him a little joke. And his daddy monitors it, you know, so that he gets, you know, relative jokes for a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. And when he sits in the barber's chair up there at the barber shop, he always they say, what you got for a joke today? Because they know him, and he's an outgoing little kid, and he's always got a joke for him. And I go up there and get a haircut, and they'll tell me he had a funny joke this time. So that's a good community thing, you know, and that's part of being tight in the community, knowing those around you and participating in all aspects of being in the community. I had a foreman one time. He told me I was outstanding on the job. Turns out he meant I was standing outside again. I was doing outside work again. But anyway, like I said, if y'all got a better joke than I do, y'all sure let me know about it. It is 5:28 in the morning. Hope everybody's rolling. Everybody got their coffee or going this morning, picking up the guys. You got what, about most people start work at 7 o'clock. You got about an hour and a half to be where you need to be. I suggest you be there 15 minutes early. So you got about an hour and 15 minutes to be there to get to where you're going. Be ready, get your PTPs done, get your toolbox safety topics ready. If you need a toolbox safety topic, you can go to my other channel, Middle Class. And I'm not trying to be braggadocious. I know when I got started that on Monday morning, and I didn't plan ahead, and I was always scrambling to find something to talk about on Monday morning. I was on the old YouTube trying to find some kind of toolbox safety topic. When I first started doing these recordings and stuff, you know, I was looking all over the internet trying to find something to talk about. And that's why I started doing this stuff, so that guys, superintendents and safety professionals and guys who are in charge would have a resource they could go to, and also have a way to understand a good way for presentation of these safeties. So that's why I started doing this stuff. And I want these resources out there. There ain't no advertisements in none of my videos. I ain't selling nothing. I ain't selling nothing but safety and leadership. You know, me and Pluriforia now, you know, she's kind of one of those things that live in the ether. We're talking about that the other day. If I could just change the attitude in the life of one man to make himself or lady to improve their life, then I call it mission accomplished. And I will get up every Monday morning at 4 o'clock and do this show, and I will record safety videos and do whatever I can to promote and reach just that one person to improve their lives. So anyway, that's where we're at. You know, we had a guy once who showed up, and I just recently, I had this young man. He led us in and stretching flexes in the morning, and I commented that, he was an asbestos worker, so they had to, but he showed up every day with spotless gloves and boots, and man, they looked brand new, and I commented on it. But we had another guy one time, and the superintendent looked him over and said, "Son, those boots tell me two things. You take pride in your appearance, and you ain't done much work yet." The whole crew laughed, just giggled about it. And the next day, the kid was the first one on the scaffolding and the last one to leave. So sometimes a little ribbon wakes the leader up in all of us. And it sure did it for that young man. And that young man, too, when he looked new, I'd call him up, "Come on, lead us in exercise." And he was skinny as a rail. You could tell he was athletically inclined, and come to find out he liked to play soccer. So, I'm sure he's got the little girls just all over him. He probably wasn't 20 years old. Anyway, hey, listen, got a comment from last week's stream about communicating hazards. And they asked, they said, "How do you get folks to listen to you when you call something out?" And, there's different styles of people out there. And some of them, "Hey, quit, wait," and they start running that mouth and being loud and all that stuff. And my take on it is, and I do it all the time, it's tone and timing. Don't bust a guy's balls. Don't break. Don't bark. Don't scream. Inform. Just inform. Instead of saying, "Hey, you dummy, you're doing that wrong." Try, "Hey, bro, I seen that bite someone before. Here's a safer way that I find to do it." People don't resist correction. What they resist is that attitude. They resist embarrassment. Speak with respect, and your words will go a lot further. And I've seen that example work time and time again. Just because you got the title of superintendent on you card or whatever, don't mean you walk around and talk to people like, that's a leadership role. You got to be a leader, man, not a boss. And nobody wants a boss. Everybody respects a leader. Even in, let me check his stream, guys. Make sure that old background music ain't drowning me out. I hear it a little bit. Yeah, don't be a daggum boss. I've seen that so many times. A guy get a stripe on his shirt, and all of a sudden he thinks he's a general. Barking out stuff, being all this stuff, that might work in the Marine Corps where they got a captured audience, but it ain't going to work in the workforce. And even those guys with that attitude, the one striper, they eventually figured out that you got to lead men. Now, when you got to be tough, you got to be tough. But if you're tough all the time, that's all you are, is tough. But if you're a leader and you got to get tough with them, they respect that. They respect you. When you got to get tough, they're paying you full attention because they know that if you're getting that way with them, then something is up. And they've got to change their behavior because it's for their own good. So when you approach someone, approach them with the softest approach you can. Now, if they're in a dangerous situation where they're 20 feet in the air and they're not tied off, even then you get in a safe position. So you summon them away from the hazard and call them to you. And then you take your approach, say, "Hey man, This is dangerous. You know better. You've been trained. You know how high up you are, and you've got your equipment and you're not tied off. You got to tell me, explain to me what makes you think that you don't have that, why you're not tied off. I want to know why you think you don't need to be tied off. Now, that's tough talk. And you could threaten them at that point, say, look, I don't need that kind of behavior on this job site. I'm not going to have you get hurt, and be an example for some other young kid who comes on here to work with us, watching you behave in an unsafe fashion. That's not going to happen. So you got a decision to make right here and right now. You can either tie off and perform correctly, or you can get the hell off this job site. Sometimes you got to be that way. And that one individual is going to look at you and he's going to make a decision. And it will all be based on how the other members of that crew, they know you. They know that behavior is unacceptable. And if you allow someone else to have unsafe behavior, they're going to lose respect for you. And they're not going to have the same kind of outlook of being safety conscious and doing the right thing. So that's a critical moment in your leadership position, when you can have the fortitude to call that individual out in a strong fashion, especially when you got training records on him. He shows he's been trained. He's just being defiant. That's all he's doing, is being hard-headed and defiant. And that's dangerous on a job. So don't allow it. Don't ever allow it, because it sets bad precedents. It sets bad vision for the remainder of your crew. And you can't have that on your job site. And that's just not for fall protection. That's for any kind of behavior, whether it's showing up on time for work or performing your work in a unsafe, unconscientious fashion. You can't accept either way. You can't accept any of that. Anyway, jumping off of that one, I guess everything sounds all right. Y'all let me know how it sounds out there in the real world, as I sit here in this make pretend world that I have created for your viewing pleasure. Anyway, moving along. Let's go. Tools and tricks. I always like to talk a little thing. What's up? Y'all tell me something what y'all do for tricks. How do you keep things in order in your life? What do you do for maintenance of your tools and equipment? Give me some, send me a message and let me know how you do it. I keep waiting on Pluriforia to pop up here and say, good morning, Scott. I fall out of this chair. I keep waiting on it. I know she's a entity that lives in the ether. But, they say a lot about that old artificial intelligence. I'll wait and see if they have consciousness, That would be weird. I don't know how I'd handle it. But anyway, we talking about PPE this morning. And how do you keep yours handy? When you're going on break. What do you do with your glasses? Nobody wants to wear their darn safety glasses through lunch. So how do you do that? Just keep your PPE where you can't ignore it. I carry gloves with me as I'm doing my job, and I'm not involved in work anymore. I'm just there to lead, guide, and direct, as the old preacher said. Lead, guide, and direct. And but I've always got my PPE with me, and I've got a glove clip, and I've given those glove clips out by the hundreds. And everybody knows I've got my gloves with me, and they'll watch me on a job. If I got to pick something up or do something, if I see some trash, I'll stop, put my gloves on, and then pick up the trash or set the ladder or help do something. If it's rigging, I'll stop, put my gloves on, and they watch that. Okay, people see that kind of thing. So, keep your safety gloves clipped to your side if you're not wearing them, because you get tired of wearing them all day long. You don't want to. And how do you keep track of them at lunch? Lay them in the dash of a pickup truck, or set them down on the tailgate, and then you walk off, and you're 1,000 feet on the job, and you go, "My darn gloves at?" and realize you left them in the truck. Now you got to climb down a ladder and walk across the job site back to the parking lot and get your gloves. That's a darn pain in the ass. But if you got them glove clips on, you can just keep them clipped to your belt loop, and you have them right there with you. So, superintendents, that saves a lot. You got to add up the labor. Is it cheaper to have a 50-cent glove clip that you can give to the guys, or have them spend 15 minutes walking back to the truck? You got to do the math on that. And safety glasses, I've seen the lanyards, where you can hang them around your neck. They'll be hanging down here like this, and they're always swinging, and they're in your way. Me, I'll put them in the pocket. And then I've seen them where guys will have them stuck in the side of their hard hat like this. Got them on the back of their neck. But keep your PPE handy. Sorry about bumping that mic. Keep your PPE handy where you can't ignore it. Make it a habit. Make it a habit. If you got one way, just do that one way all the time. It don't matter. The important thing is people see that you keep track of your stuff. And the young guys, they'll learn from you. You get a young guy just off the gaming career in his mom and dad's basement, or just out of high school, and he's dumb as a box of rocks, and he's trying to learn a trade and make money to take his girlfriend out and get him a nice car and keep the insurance on it and pay his mom a little rent. And he's watching, and he's counting on you, man. That veteran, that guy who's been there, whether you've been there for months or years, he's looking at you. So make sure you just keep your PPE handy, and always keep some spares too. I probably got a old pair of just old cheap old safety glasses. Now I have to have some prescription in mine, but I do have spare pairs in case I break mine or lose mine, so I can keep moving along. But keep spares in your truck or your gang box. And another thing I've seen a lot of guys do is they keep a spare pair of safety glasses in their lunch box, in their lunch bag, because you remember food before you will remember your eyewear. Anyway, so important thing is the easier your PPE is to reach, the more likely you are to use it, especially when the safety guy walks by. I had an old guy one time, I was walking the job site, and I saw him out of the corner of my eyes. He didn't have the safety glasses on, and I had to move his way, and we was looking at everything, and you'd see him keep slowly turning. Keep slowly turning. He didn't have his safety glasses. I don't know what he did with them. He didn't have them on him, or he snuck them on there while he had a chance. But I didn't ever say anything. I keep 2 or 3 pair. I give them away, and then I ain't got none. But anyway, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. We could talk about this leadership all day long, and I'm going to try and include and try and kind of sum that up and move along, because look at this. It is 5:45. You got about an hour to get to the job site. If y'all start at 7, get there early, get your paperwork. You got to get that PTP done. The safety guys won't want to see that, gonna want to take a picture of it. I know I would be. Get there and get your paperwork done. On the leadership and accountability, though, and this is a quote by John C. Maxwell, and I think he's a leadership professional in the construction business or a safety professional of some sort. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And that's kind of what we've been talking about all morning long. Uh, you know what to do. You know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, there's somebody on that job site who does. If you run into something that you're not sure about, stop, ask, figure it out, get somebody. Make sure you've got some opinions. Look, if you got a work crew of 12 guys, and they range from in their 20s and in their 40s or 50s, they know what to do. They've experienced it. Just because you don't know what to do don't make you a dummy. So, anyway, has my music stopped? No, it don't make you a dummy. It just makes you don't know. Nothing wrong with not knowing. Ain't nothing wrong with asking. And if you do know, and you see a guy standing there looking at something like he's lost, throw him a lifeline. Hey, man, you all right? What's up? What are you doing? Need some help? I've had to do that before. Let me show you. Let me show you how to do that. Take the time. That man will respect you, and he'll call you a leader. And he'll come to you numerous times as long as y'all are working together. Say, hey, Hefe said do this, and I'm not sure what to do. Help me out. And he'll be there. And you'll be there for him. So be a leader. Be the one who knows the way, who goes the way, and who shows the way. That means you just don't talk safety. You walk it. You teach it. And live it every minute while you're on, not just on the job site, being responsible and all that, even away from the job site. Because, if you work with someone, you probably have some social interactions with them. Hell, you spend 60 hours a week with them. You got to develop some kind of relationship. So, they look at you, how you treat your kids, how you treat your wife, how you keep your yard, how you keep your cars. They see that. And if they're a younger generation, they're going to look at you and try to emulate you. So take that responsibility seriously. All right? That's all we got to do is take ourselves and others seriously. Anyway, somebody sent me a message. Man, one of these days somebody's going to pop up on here. But, I'm developing the skill set for this early morning business. Coffee's getting cold. All right, send me a message. Send me a, what do they call these? Send me a chat. No, send me a message. Send me in the comments. Comment. Send me a comment. Tell me where you're headed, what you're doing. Whether you're live or you follow this later on and you catch it on the rerun. Anyway. Moving along. It is 5:50 in the morning. Can you believe we've been together for 50 minutes already? All right. This week on the Middleclassbubba channel, on the safety channel, the Toolbox Safety Talk, on MCB Ventures, we're diving into working around equipment. And the key message is simple. And I got some stickers. I should have brought one of those. And it's a green sticker, and it's got a set of eyes on it. And it says, if you don't see my eye, if you can't see my eyes, I can't see you. And that's the message. Is simple. If you can't see their eyes, if you're working around heavy equipment, if you can't see their eyes, then they can't see you. And that's, you got trucks on job sites backing in, dropping gravel, backing in, dropping equipment, supplies. They got coming in to pick stuff up. There are all kinds of trucks coming in there. You've got, if you're working on a site, you could have loaders, you could have forklifts, you can have telehandlers, you could have scissor lifts, boom lifts. You can have all kinds of equipment moving on the job site. But on the channel, we'll be breaking down the blind spots and how you stay out of the blind spots and communication between operators and ground personnel, and how to stay visible when you're in the danger zone. Now, there's all kinds of blind spots on equipment. So if you can't see their eyes, and they certainly can't see you. So in heavy equipment, it don't have no eyes. It ain't got no feelings. It don't see you. It's the guy behind the wheel or the guy at the controls who's in charge of that equipment. And if you're not visible to him, and he's got some responsibility too, but you know, there are blind spots on that equipment. If he's focused, there's some equipment that you're on, there is no way they can see you properly. So make sure you know what those blind spots are. Especially them old darn skid steers is the most dangerous thing, because them operators get to moving in there and get in a hurry, and they want to get the mission accomplished, and they'll be wheeling those things around, spinning them around, and boy, they'll get you. I had an old boy one time acting like a darn fool on one of them, in a big hurry, scooting around, and another guy was on the site, and he was just right up next to that thing. And I said, man, you got to stop. Listen. You got this guy, he's walking around here. He's just right up on you like he don't know how dangerous. He'll be all right. A few days later, boy ran over him with that darn skid steer, broke his darn chins, his lower leg, just crushed it, man. And that old boy is out of work, on workers' comp, and operator. He had to walk around with that guilt, and I wrote him up, and as a warning, say, had conversation with the operator and the employee about working around equipment. You know, just a conversation. Wasn't no, here's a ticket. It was, it was documenting that I had conversation with them about it. And darn risk manager called me. Did you have a conversation with such and such about this? I said, I did. I sent forward a report, that said I had a conversation with. And she goes, well, he ran over a guy and broke his leg in about 4 places. I said, dadgummit, man. And I'd see him afterwards, and he'd hang his head in shame. I said, hey, that's in the past, brother. Let's move forward yet. Hope you learned something. I don't know if he did or not, because at that time I was contemplating the change. I loved the company I was working for, but I was getting close to retirement. I wanted to do this more, and I wanted to be on the job site every day. Have an opportunity to have a little more control over my own schedule, and so I was getting ready to move on to another company that offered considerably more. And anyway, because heavy equipment doesn't stop for excuses. Whoops, bumping that darn mic. I got these mic stands. I can't figure out how to do this stuff. I know I need a mic in front of me. I got one up there that I'm trying to get one off screen somewhere where you can't see it, but it picks up as well. I want to make sure I keep the quality up. And anyway, heavy equipment doesn't stop for excuses. It only stops for awareness. Well, looks like we've done it, boys and girls. We've gone through another hour almost of, here we go. We have done it. Another hour on a Monday morning at 5 o'clock. that we've gone through the safety. Had a little conversation. I hope we got some motivation. I tried to tell some jokes, and we're here every Monday morning at 5 a.m. to motivate us and talk about safety and leadership. And so if you scroll past this as later in the day, you're sitting at home in your easy chair and you see this guy, just remember, if you want to participate, we do this every Monday morning at 5 because I got something to do at 6. So anyway, I am certainly grateful for the leaders. You guys who'll watch this, who are out there and trying to get themselves pumped up and motivated. I'm grateful for the ones who show up early, who look out for their brothers and sisters, and take pride in their work. Leadership isn't about rank. It's about attitude, example, and accountability. Be aware. Look around. Lead by example. Protect your crew and your craft. Because if you perform your work in a safe, timely, and efficient manner, you will be in demand and you will have respect of not only your crew members, but your company, the GC you're working for, your family, and your community. Be that person, others, in being accountable to your actions and your words. Anyway, I really am grateful for y'all showing up. Stay safe, stay sharp, and stay on time. And I'll see you next Monday morning. But before I leave, as always, have a grateful day. Have a grateful week, and we'll see you next time.